Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Federico and I hope you're all doing great. So lately I haven't been posting many videos because I've been super busy with studio work, and as you might notice I'm also in a different room since the last videos I posted, so hopefully I'll be able to update you soon about everything that's been going on. But today I wanted to show you this cool new little plugin that I've been testing for the last few weeks. So it's called the 1111 by Otto Audio, and it's kind of different from all the other ampsims out there because it was meant to sound extremely aggressive and over the top. Of course it was meant for modern metal genres, and it does that really well actually. Some of the presets are pretty much mix ready for some type of mixes you might want to do within this genre. So today I'm testing it on the mix session of a song named WIIIDTH by the band Human Betrayal. You might want to check them out because they are super cool. So let's go. So let me start with a quick plugin walkthrough. First of all, we can resize the interface right here or here, so we can make it as big or small as we want. This is the front panel. We have the input level, output level, mono to stereo or stereo mode, and the mono to stereo is actually very interesting. I'm gonna talk about it in just a second. We have the oversampling, and on the actual head we have preamp gain, bass, mid, treble controls, master volume, presence and depth. This is pretty standard. If we click on this logo, we get 9 different impedance curves, and this makes a ton of difference. So I'm gonna show you in just a second how they all sound like, but you're encouraged to experiment with this while making your own tones. If you click on the Otto Audio logo, you can select between 22 different cabinets. They all sound very different. Some of them are more scooped, some are more mid-focused, but they all serve a purpose, so they're pretty cool. In case you want more control, you can just click on the main panel and you'll get access to the back panel where you have the mode switch, which changes the character of the whole amp, the punish plus 10 dB and low boost, which act on the overdrive section before the actual amp, a gate knob, a power tube selector with EL34, 6L6 and KD88, and the power amp controls such as bias, sag, feedback and snarl in case you want to control your tone even more. By the way, these all react differently depending on the tube that you have selected. Next we have the amplitude control in case you want to level match some different presets that might sound louder or quieter depending on the frequency content. Next, there's the cabinet section. As I said, there's 22 different cabinets. You can bypass the whole section right here in case you want to use external IRs. Unfortunately, this does not load third-party IRs, but you can easily do that by loading any free third-party IR loader plugin after this head. And a cool thing is that we have independent resonance control for both IRs. So the only thing that I didn't mention is the punch switch, which actually turns off the impedance curve section, and the power amp switch, which turns off the power amp controls. Before we move on to checking the presets and actually creating a tone, let me talk a bit more about the routing options here. So as you can see, I've set it to stereo because the plugin is loaded on a stereo guitar bus. I have a left guitar, right guitar, both are routed to the stereo guitar bus, and this helps me change the tone of both guitars at the same time with a single instance of the plugin. So it's super useful for this demo. Instead, if I was running one instance on each guitar track, I will select mono, of course. Another cool thing about this plugin is this mono to stereo mode right here, which basically turns your mono guitar DI into a stereo signal. Of course, it applies the distortion and the tone from the amp, but it also acts kind of like a doubler, except it kind of sounds a bit better than the usual doublers for this purpose. And I think this is perfect for writing, because if you've been writing on the DAW, you know that up until you have double tracked your guitar, you can only hear your guitar in the center or hard pan the left or right. So you don't really have a feel for how the song will turn out until you have double tracked. With this mode, you kind of have that wall of sound feeling that makes it more enjoyable while writing. So I'm definitely gonna give it a try with my next songs. And while this is not recommended for mixing, you never know. Maybe you just get one DI track for one additional part that you would like to double. Give it a try because it sounds pretty good, so you never know. It can work in a mix. Let me give you an example of how this mono to stereo mode sounds. So I set up a single guitar DI pen to the center. This is actually a stereo channel, because within Cubase you need a stereo channel to have a stereo output, even if the source is mono. So make sure whatever DAW you're using that you kind of know how it all works, like the internal routing of the DAW. And with the mono mode, it sounds like this with the current preset. And mono to stereo is like this. That's pretty cool. Let me turn on my mastering chain and let's see how it sounds in the mix. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's check out what this plugin actually sounds like. First of all, on my guitar bass, I have the 1111, just a simple EQ cutting off some lows and highs, and my mastering chain is on, but there's no other processing on the guitar bass. Right now, it sounds like this. So down here you have the presets section, and as you can see there's already a ton of different presets. Here to the right instead you have the Tonal Structure section, which basically changes the way the amp sounds. It changes the power tubes, the impedance curves, the reactivity, the tone, all at the same time. So basically you can combine these with the presets to create presets within presets. They really do change the sound a lot. Let me show you how it works. This one's very cool. Let's see what it sounds like changing the impedance curves only. So they really have very different characters. For example, one is very scooped, 9 has very in-your-face mids, so I'm gonna keep that one. Let's now check out the cabinets. So of course they all have different frequency response curves, and some of them are gonna sound louder than the other ones, especially the ones with more in-your-face mids are gonna sound louder. Keep in mind you can always use the amplitude knob here to compensate and choose the best one for your mix without getting like fooled by the changing volume. So since there really are a ton of options, as you can see, I'm just gonna scroll through some of my favorite presets, and I'll have to change the mode to stereo each time because every preset is stored with its own routing option, so you'll hear the actual stereo tone after just a second. But keep in mind you can free trial the plugin to really test all these tones and combination on your actual sessions. I think the 1111 is a very nice tool to have in your ampsim arsenal, and I think it excels at those very saturated, low, mid, heavy distortions, as well as those super dirty and grimy, very scooped but sub-heavy tones. You'll find a discount link in the video description in case you want to buy the 1111. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Cheers!